All right. Good morning. It appears um, wars breaking out everywhere. There's a lot of conflicts already was going on, and so now we have this situation where the USA and Israel has attacked Iran. The region is unstable, and no telling what's going on. You said, "Hey, Unc, is it time I get strapped?" Whatever works for you, but you know, under these conditions with crime up like it is and no stability at the borders, you always want to be able to defend yourself anyway. That's automatic. Because, like, if something happened, it'll be too late to do it. So you want to always be ready to defend yourself because things could happen in 5 hours, 4 hours. So things could go from normal to crazy in 4 hours, and there might be 4 hours at night when everything is closed. And so right now, my question is, is this the start of World War III? Now, before I get into this news segment, I'm gonna break down why I say that. A lot of times, like with the world wars, they can happen like this. A lot of conflict. These two got a 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 conflict. And in those conflicts, there's other ones in that conflict. So these two and their allies. 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 Many times, these countries, their allies have to be a superpower. So out of these 4 or 5 conflicts, two of them could be backed by China, two of them could be backed by U.S., two of them could be backed by Russia, and this is what pulls other countries into the conflict. So it's a volatile situation going on right now in Iran. I can't tell. I can't tell just yet, Tim. I can't tell until I see how bad it gets. I don't want to jump the gun. It could look crazy, and by Tuesday, they make some kind of peace talk. So you just never know. So I don't want to jump the gun like this is automatically going to go crazy. So I'm not sure where this is going to go. But I'm talking about the possibilities. And there's a difference in saying this is going to happen and a possibility. All I'm saying is possibility because it'd be misleading for me to pretend like I know what's going to go on. I don't. I don't know what's going to go on. I don't know how far everything is going to kick off. So I don't want to. I don't want to jump that conclusion. But I can say it does look crazy. How long do I think before there's war in the States? I can't see that. I can't barely see that happen because the U.S. is a superpower, has the best military, and I can't I can't see there being no war in the U.S. Very few people got the missile capabilities to hit the U.S. Most of those countries don't want war. So China, Russia, and America, they wouldn't want war with each other. They would avoid that because those type of wars is a lose lose. So they would always try to avoid that. They would try to avoid that. So I don't really see that, but anything can happen. I do see some lone wolves running around doing crazy stuff that been in the country. I see that as a high possibility, especially when they had the border open and people running around looking like Mexicans might not have even been Mexicans. It might have been disguises. But let's start out with what's going on for the people that's watching that wasn't up last night. So first of all, this is what's going on. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched major joint combat operations against Iran, targeting military, nuclear, and industrial sites across the country, including Tehran, Isfahan, and Shiraz. President Trump cited the need to eliminate imminent threats and destroy nuclear capabilities, with reports indicating severe damage to facilities like Natanz. Key details of the 2026 attack: targets and damage. Strikes targeted the capital, Tehran, including near the Supreme Leader's compound, as well as Isfahan, Shiraz, Tabriz, and critical oil infrastructure in Asile. Reports indicate that Natanz nuclear site was destroyed, while Fordow sustained major damage. Military action. The operation involved U.S. F-35 and F-22 fighters entering Iranian airspace. Wikipedia notes the operation was codenamed Roaring Lion in Israel. Retaliation. Following the strikes, Iran launched retaliatory missiles targeting Israel and U.S. bases in the Gulf region. Context: the attacks occurred after weeks of heightened tension and U.S. military buildup in the region and the collapse of negotiating regarding Iran's nuclear program. Impact: Iran closed its airspace and significant panic was reported in the cities, alongside mixed reactions regarding potential regime change. On February 28, 2026, Israel launched a massive coordinated military offensive against Iran alongside the United States, codenamed Operation Roaring Lion by Israel and Operation Epic Fury by the U.S. So the U.S. called it Epic Fury, and Israel calls it Roaring Lion. The strikes targeted Iran's leadership, nuclear facilities, and military infrastructure. Targeted leadership. Israeli strikes have specifically targeted Iran's supreme leader, president, and head of the armed forces. Reports indicate the compound of Supreme Leader Ali in Tehran has heavily damaged or destroyed. Nuclear and missile infrastructure. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated the operation struck the main enrichment facility and Natanz, nuclear scientists, in the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Additional targets include the Pharaoh enrichment plant and the Isfahan Nuclear Technology Center. Military and strategic sites. The Israel Defense Force, the IDF, confirmed strikes on air bases in Hamadan and Tabriz, command and control centers, and surface-to-surface missile sites across cities, including Tehran, Isfahan, Qom, Karaj, and Kermanshah. The attack was described as a joint military operation with the U.S. involved in months of close and joint planning. Israel utilized approximately 200 fighter jets in the initial wave. Well, let's stop there and we'll go through that part. Now, it's a lot of strategy going on here. The first thing is when they attack, they'll hit your weapons in advance. So they'll use their espionage and watch you for a long time to find out where all your missiles at. If they blow up your missiles, you don't have enough missiles for a long-term war. So if the war is going to drag on, what America and Israel are going to do when they hit first is hit you hard enough where you won't have enough military to sustain a war. I'm sure that's what they did. They knocked out all your key components that you need for war. Destroy your oil site where you don't have gas and oil to even put in vehicles to do anything. Destroy any type of weapons, ammunition sites. Destroy any location where you got missiles that you can launch, and basically destroy where your leader lives to make him have to run, and pretty much disrupt your whole country. Now, I have a theory about why they're attacking Iran now. They've been wanting to attack Iran, but one of the strategies, if you watch President Trump's speech, he told the Iranian people, this is your time now. This is your time to take your country. This is going to be probably your last chance to do this in many years. Now, right there, let me tell you what that was about. America's playing chess. The Iranian people are sick of the Iranian government, the young people. The young people, they don't want to live the old way. You imagine you're a young man, 20, in Iran, a young woman, 20, 22, 25, and you're looking around the world and you see young people having fun, going to the beaches, can wear whatever clothes they want to wear. They're all on TV dancing, they're having a good time, they're having relationships. Some of them, if they're gay, they could be gay, they don't have to hide it. And you there And this old Muslim man, he wants you to walk around the way they used to walk around 60, 70 years ago. So they've been had a big uprise. They've been protesting. And the Iranian government unalived 7,000 of them. 7,000. You notice it didn't make the news. So when the government seen that, the United States government, they said, we can go in now because if we disrupt it enough, they'll overthrow their own government. That's the plan. The plan is to weaken the current government so weak that they can't fight against the people and the people overthrow it and the United States help them put a new leader in there. That's the plan. Smart plan. Because if you unalive 7,000 people, you got some millions of people that are very angry. Very angry. Because it's brutal in those countries. Brutal. And those countries don't have no news. So whatever they do stays in the country. You won't know the facts about Iran until the people get liberated from that horrible religious regime and start making documentaries and telling you how horrible it is. The two types of people that's worst living around is total barbarians and religious fanatics. They two in the same. You can't tell the difference between the religious fanatics and the barbarians. They behave the same way. And so I couldn't imagine living there in a fanatical religious country like that. And you know, America needs to watch out for fanatical religion. Because as I speak as a foundational Black American who's been here, I don't want to be around you. I don't want you calling no shots if you're a fanatic religious person. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be around you. I don't want you to have anything to do with society because you got a demented mind state. You can't just mind your business. You want everybody to be in your religion. We don't want to be in your religion. We don't want to do that. God ain't even making us worship God. So how you going to make me worship God? Make it make sense. If there's a God like they say, and God wanted us all to worship God, God could have forced us. But we got free will. So I wouldn't want to live over there or anywhere. I don't even like being around religious zealots. Like crazy Christians or Hebrew Israelites and certain Muslims. Oh my God, they're the worst. The worst. That's all they talk about. That's all they do day in and day out their whole life. And they subject everybody to their misery. And many times they're hypocrites. Hypocrites. When you go around fanatical religious people, 75% of them are hypocrites. 25% really, but 75% of them, 75, it might even be 80% hypocrites. They telling you something and they doing something else. So the people want to break free. So America went over there, and that's why Trump said, this is your chance. The idea is to blow up a bunch of stuff and to get them to uprise. Because America can only do airstrikes. So it's limited on what America could do to liberate the people or to beat Iran, because America can only do airstrikes. You can't go in there on foot. And any military tactician will tell you that. Because Iran is sitting down in a hole. It's in a hole. And it's surrounded by mountains. So this is the mountains and Iran is in here. And if you go down in there, you'll never get out. You'll never get out of there. Your army will be trapped in there. Did y'all know that? If you send foot soldiers down in the mountains or down in there, they'll never get out. And the more foot soldiers you send, the more they'll unalive down in there. Because they got millions of soldiers for foot. America don't have enough soldiers to have a foot war. That's a fact. America don't have enough soldiers to have a foot war. And America learned this lesson from Vietnam. So they got to fight from the air and they got to get the country to turn against them. But what America is doing is, even if they stop fighting them, they're going to be did so much damage that Iran won't be no world threat. They definitely won't have no nuclear power. They won't have hardly no jets. They're going to blow all them up. They won't have a lot of things they won't have to be able to cause any problems. It'll take them, when America get through with them, it'll take them at least 15 years to rebuild what they had to be able to fight. They'll be able to fight hand-to-hand combat by foot, but they won't be able to attack no other country. And so it's smart that America's playing it right. Iran can't win because Iran's already lost, basically. And now America's trying to get the Iranian people to be so miserable that they turn on the regime. Whose side Putin on? Putin's on the white man's side. Let me show you something. Putin would never attack the U.S. He would do anything to prevent going to war with the U.S. Let me show you something. You see where Russia's at? All right. What's that word right under Russia? The greater what? Caucasus. And what are Europeans called? Caucasians. And where are Europeans from? The Caucasus Mountains right here. Russia. Russia is the motherland for white people all over the world. This is their fatherland. This is why Putin, he didn't want to go to war with Ukraine, but Ukraine was unaliving Russians in the Ukraine because when they annexed it, some Russians was in the Donbass area, and that Nazi that run it was attacking the Russians, and they kept begging Putin, come save us, come save us, come save us. So Putin just trying to save the Russian citizens that are still in Ukraine. He tried to do everything to get them just leave them alone and annex this part for them because they don't want to be Ukrainians. They Russians. They speak Russians. And Zelensky is a Nazi. And Russians don't like Nazis because Nazis, like I said, Putin, that's their fatherland. He the leader of whites, basically. And Hitler was unaliving his own people, blowing up Britain, attacking Europeans. So they don't like Nazis. Just like I said, religion, because when Nazis have crazy ideologies and they'll attack anybody that doesn't agree with their ideology. So all Putin was trying to do was save the Russians in the Donbass region, the east, the section on the east of the Ukraine. You can look it up, you'll see it. So Putin looks at white Americans as family. You've seen how Putin showed that Christ was black and all that. You know why? Because it doesn't bother him, because he's proud to be a Caucasian. So he doesn't believe that whites should be trying to pretend that they was these black people. Putin's like, why y'all trying to say y'all Christ and all that? Why don't you just be proud to be what we are? We have a whole culture that you're not telling nobody about. So Putin would never want to hurt white people because in his mind, they all came from Russia. Russia is their fatherland. Putin is a very highly intelligent and highly historical person. Seriously. And they got a lot of knowledge up there that you wouldn't believe. Like he pulled out all them books of Black Christ and all them pictures of Black Christ. Nobody knew he had that up there. Well, Putin has information on Trump, and I'll just leave that like that. Putin has disturbing information on Trump. And we'll just leave that like that. You know, I'll say, how can I say this where it ain't too? Where is Trump's wife really from? And we'll just leave that. You go do where is she really from? Okay? And we'll just leave that like that, okay? That's go do your homework on that. Do a little homework on that. Okay? I'll give you a little homework assignment and then we'll move on. Go is two there's two films you should watch. So you can have some idea of what I'm saying. show them to you and then we'll keep going. You watch these films and you'll understand. I don't want to say too much, but I like to tell y'all stuff, but I don't want to say too much. But there's two films you could watch that would give you some idea what I'm talking about. One of them is Salt. Go watch that. And the other one is The Americans. So you go watch Salt and you go watch The Americans, okay? The Americans is a must if you want to step your knowledge up on what's going on. Salt is deep. So back to what we was talking about. So Putin sells them weapons and stuff like that, but he'll sell them weapons, but he would never sell them weapons that would be superior to U.S. weapons. He's just in it for the money. And so Iran set themselves up when they unalived them 7,000 people and shut down their own people. They set themselves up because now people are going to come in and say, "Look how he treats y'all." So his country is ready to turn on them. America's just there to knock the military and the police down enough where the people could rise up and put their own leader in there. This is how they orchestrate coups. So if we blow up enough stuff and shut the police and shut the country down, then the people that was protest can come out and take over their country. That's why you go watch it. Trump say, "This is your opportunity. You might not get another chance." Let's go listen to the speech. Slick, I'm telling you, man. America's something else. He appealed to the people. Go watch his speech when he announced that he was going in Iran. And when they get to the part where he told them, "This is your chance." That's what it's about. Cripple the country enough so when they uprise again, they win. Same playbook happening, I think Berlin and other countries. Same playbook. If you're an enemy of America and your people start rising up, they're going to help the opposition overthrow the government. So they're trying to help the Iranian people overthrow the government, basically, which will definitely happen because dude walking around with a sheet on with that old religion. He had 2,000 years old. And America ain't forgot that they overthrew the Shah of Iran and held those hostages for 400 and something days. You all was young, but when I was growing up, we watched that. That was the beginning of 24-hour news. 24-hour news was born in Iran because the Iranians had those hostages And Ted Koppel used to come on in the evening news. But the situation was so deep that when he would come on at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, he would stay on till 10 at night. It didn't go off like it usually would go off. Because, Ted Koppel would come on with the nightly news, and he would come on with the evening news. In Chicago, you got the morning news, city news. It's the city news in the morning, city news in the midday, lunch, city news at 5, and then 6 is the world news, right? It's the world news. So Ted Koppel would come on in the evening news, right? And when he would come on at 6, he would stay on sometime to 10. And then they got to count. Day number 49, day number 50, counting all the days they had the hostages, which was over a year, 400 days. So then that's when they start going into cable television, and they just say, we need to do this, we need to do 24-hour news. I think he went over to, I don't know if he stayed there or if he went over to CNN when they created CNN. I can't forget where he went. But yeah, he ended up being on the 24-hour news. And that was the birth of 24-hour news, because they never covered no stories like that for that long. They covered the Iran hostage situation like constantly. And they never forgot that with Iran, because they overthrew the Shah. The Shah was really was a part of the United States regime. And they overthrew the Shah and brought in the radical, crazy. But the Shah was a tyrant too. That's what the problem. Shah wasn't no good guy either. He wasn't no good guy. So he got overthrown by people even more crazier than him. So they're going to definitely topple that country. The same way they got rid of Saddam Hussein. So on February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched a major joint combat operations against Iran, targeting military, nuclear, industrial sites across the country. You see? Israel launched a massive coordinated military offensive against Iran alongside with the United States, codenamed Operation Roaring Lion, or Lion's Roar, to help them bring down the Iranian infrastructure. They targeted leadership, nuclear missile infrastructure, military strategic site, and they did the joint operations to shut it down. But that's not the reason I'm saying is this the start of World War III. The reason I'm saying is this the start of World War III is because war is spread it out through a large region. And this is how world wars start. They fighting, they fighting, they fighting, they fighting, they fighting, they fighting. All they got to do is they get the same ally and they get the same ally. And now you got the big dog with them and the other big dog with them. And that's the problem. If it was just Iran, it wouldn't go too much further. But this is the problem, people. All of these conflicts. You got Russia and Ukraine. You got Israel and Gaza, Palestine, Lebanon, Hezbollah. You got Sudan, have a major civil war between the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces. You got Myanmar, internal conflict between the military junta and opposition forces. You got Armenia versus Azerbaijan, ongoing tension, particularly surrounding the Nagorno-Karabakh region. You got Yemen, ongoing conflict with the Houthi rebels and the coalition forces. And the Houthis, they fear, might begin to try to help Iran. You got Syria, multifaceted civil war involving various domestic and foreign actors. You got the Sahel region in Africa with Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, intense fighting between governments and armed rebel groups. You got the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Same thing, widespread violence in the eastern region that goes all over to the neighboring countries, Uganda and all of them. Because it's Ugandan soldiers that's really going into the Congo, chasing the Ugandans that left, that's in the Congo. You got India and Pakistan, which is a serious, serious, serious problem. They both have nuclear weapons. You got China and India and Taiwan, where China wants Taiwan. Simmering border disputes between India and China and heightened tensions around Taiwan. And you got Mexico, intense non-international armed conflict against powerful drug cartels, right? So this is why I say there could be a possible World War III if they start grabbing allies and they start saying, well, we fighting Russia. Why don't we all get together with America and fight Russia? And then Russia's allies say, why we don't all get together and fight against the U.S. and Israel? So that's where World War III come in, because all Israel's enemies, the Houthis, them ones in Yemen and everywhere, they might go fight with Russia. With Iran. So that's how you get a world war. You don't really get a world war just from the two. You get a world war when it's a bunch of conflict and everybody around the world choose a side. That's how you get a world war. Like Vietnam, the Viet Cong was bagged by China and Pakistan. So that's the threat. The whole region is a hot box. And it ain't going to take much for it to go left. It's not going to take that much for this to go left. I'm telling you right now. Get some supplies, get some food, because when you think it's peace and safety, it's a sudden destruction. It won't take much for the world to go up. I'm telling you, you better listen. Because it won't just be Iran against Israel and America. It'll be all of the other ones that begin to take sides. It's day by day. It's hour by hour. It's hour by hour. It's hour by hour. We can get off this live and it'll be up. Just like that. Just like that. That's why I'm watching this and reporting on this like this. At an hour. Whatever was going on when I started this live, I'm liable to get off this live and it'd be crazy. Yep. I ain't trying to scare y'all. I'm just telling y'all the facts. Because all these people is beefing. Look, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, Myanmar, Syria, Sudan, South Sudan, Democratic Republic, Somalia, Somalian conflict with Al Shabaab. Just look. Yemen, they got an ongoing civil war. Mexico and Colombia, they at war. People don't know Mexico and Colombia beefing. Look, Ukraine and Russia beefing. Israel, Palestine, and Lebanon beefing. Myanmar, civil war with the junta, related conflict. Syria, ongoing civil war involving international actors. Sudan, South Sudan, internal armed conflicts and ethnic violence. Democratic Republic of the Congo, insurgencies in the eastern region. Somalia, conflict involving Al Shabaab. Yemen, ongoing civil war. Mexico and Colombia, and high level cartel violence classified as armed conflict. Africa, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Ethiopia. The Aroma is fighting the Amara and the Tigrans. They all fighting. Remember I told y'all that? I told you Rasta talking about going to Ethiopia, but they won in Ethiopia. Mozambique, war. Nigeria, war. Senegal, war. You talking about going to West Africa. I told you, don't go over there to Ghana. Okay? Asia, Afghanistan, India, the Kashmir, Northeast, and the Naxalite. In India, the Hindus and the Muslims is going at it heavy. It's spilling over to Pakistan. You see, Pakistan, the Philippines, they beeping in the Philippines right now. Europe and Middle East, Armenia, beefing. Azerbaijan, beefing. Iran, we already see what's going on with that. The problem with West Africa is the Nigerians, at any time, it could be xenophobia in West Africa. Remember South Africa xenophobia, where the Nigerians went down there disrespecting? And the South Africans was attacking the Nigerians. The Ghanaians was attacking the Nigerians. Nobody in Africa like Nigerians. Because the Nigerians are like an invasive species that go into other people's countries and don't have no respect. I'm just telling you. You see it. Iran engaged in a direct war with the U.S. and Israel. United States actively engaged in military operations against Iran, Venezuela, and various proxy groups. Venezuela, under U.S. military intervention with ongoing political and security chaos. Israel, conducting joint strikes with the U.S. against Iran and engaged in a fractured conflict in Gaza. Iraq, site of U.S. strikes against ISIS and Iranian-backed groups, as well as Iranian retaliatory strikes. Syria, targeted by U.S. strikes against ISIS and involved in border regional violence. So you ain't know. Look at all this. All of this is going on right now. They warring out that you just don't tell you on the news. Yemen, Houthi forces engaged in conflict against U.S.-led coalition in the Red Sea. Y'all didn't see where the Houthis landed on that ship out of helicopter and took the whole ship? Go search it. It's all over the internet. Man, they came down on helicopters on a big cargo ship or tanker and took it. Somalia, U.S. strikes targeting al-Shabaab and ISIS militants in Somalia. And al-Shabaab and ISIS is up there in Minneapolis. Who you think they are? Nigeria, U.S. strikes against ISIS. Remember they just attacked Nigeria? American military set up a whole base right now in Nigeria. Right now. Look, Russia against Ukraine. Ongoing high-intensity war with the U.S. attempting to broker a ceasefire and reducing aid to Ukraine. So America's reducing aid to Ukraine so the Russians can win. I told you Russia and America's friends, didn't I? Then I tell you that, look, with the U.S. attempting to broker a ceasefire and reducing aid to Ukraine. remember when Zelensky came over here and Trump dissed him, he had to storm out? Trump was like, I'm not giving you nothing. Sudan, ongoing civil war causing a massive humanitarian crisis. You notice they don't tell you what's going on in the Sudan? Do you know how bad it is right now in Sudan, in Darfur? They ain't going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. By the time they tell you what's going on in Sudan, it'll be a whole bunch of people unalive. Then they'll be like, Sudan crisis with so many unalive. Yeah. Myanmar, ongoing civil war. The DR, ongoing fighting in the east. The Sahel, Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, high-intensity Islamic insurgencies. Countries targeted or under threat. Colombia, threatened with potential U.S. actions regarding border drug issues. Cuba, threatened following casualties of Cuban military personnel during the Venezuelan intervention. During the Venezuela intervention, a lot of other people got hurt when America went down there. Mexico, targeted by U.S. threats regarding cartels. Greenland, subject to territorial economic tension. Bahrain, targeted by Iranian retaliatory missile strikes. No, that's wrong. That is wrong. This has nothing to do with Venezuela. This has everything to do with the uprising in Russia and Russia unaliving 7,000 people. I mean, in Iran, and the Iranians unaliving 7,000 people. And that's the opportunity to go help the people that they're trying to help the people in Iran that already want to overthrow the Iranian government. It has nothing to do with Venezuela. They are bombing Iran because of opportunity. No given. This is just opportunity that just fell in their lap because the Iranian people have been trying to fight against the government. So it's a perfect time to help them have a coup. It has nothing to do with Venezuela. Don't y'all listen to that. Has nothing to do with it. And you see Mexico, you say Greenland subject to territorial economic tension, Bahrain, Qatar, and UAE targeted by Iranian retaliation missiles because right now Iran is blowing up Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE. Basically, so China chilling in. China will sell you some weapons, but the Chinese only mind Chinese business. The only thing the Chinese is interested in is Taiwan. They not they're not getting into that. For what? They'll sell them some weapons, but they're not gonna get in it. It becomes a world war when America, like right in the middle of all this, make a move for Taiwan. Here's what I'm trying to show y'all. For this to be a world war, some other things got to happen that could happen. And that's what kicks it off. It just be a war at first. But then a couple mistakes made at the same time of the war, and it just kicks off. And so now you, Russia, you help this country, this country, this country. America helped this country, and this country. China helped this country, this country. Russia get mad and send a bomb to China. Stop helping our enemy. See? Like that. It's not, that's why I say this is not World War III. I'm saying is this the start. It could kick off, right? I don't know. We're not doing make believe. Okay, come over here with come over here. I don't do make believe, bro. Come over here with what's really going on. I don't do that. So that's how you go into World War. You go into World War with too many conflicts that was already there happen to spark up. And then the allies began to choose who they're going to help. Well, I'm going to help them, them, and them. I'm going to help them, them, and them. I'm going to help. And then that's World War. Just like that. Because you got to understand, China, Russia, and America have what? Interests. Have people they trade with. Have products that they can't afford you to take. For example, China. Trump got the tariffs, right? China don't want to pay all that money for the soybeans, right? So China starts going to South America, Venezuela, and down there in Argentina to get the soybeans, right? Then Trump goes down there with his military, takes Venezuela, and now controls that to make it where the Chinese can't get their soybeans. That's how World War. Because China got to go to war for food because they got a lot of people. So when they got a lot of people, right, and you block the food, they got to go to war. Once again, wrong. Being that the Supreme Court disrupted Trump's tariff was a shutdown, it was a key warning for him to go to war. No, totally wrong. Don't listen to that. You don't know what he's talking about. If it wasn't for the Iranians unaliving them 7,000 people and having a large bunch of people that want to get rid of that government, America wouldn't be in this. America's in this because they got some people that'll take the government. If they cripple the government enough, the Iranian people that just got all shot down, you see, they just had big protests in Iran. The people don't want that government. Trump seen they unalived 7,000 Iranians. So what he wants to do is cripple that country so that the protesters can take it over and install new government. Without that 7,000 being shot, without them protests last month and the month before, the protests over the last 7 to 8 months, he would not be in Iran. If I don't sanction what nobody say over here, yeah, you go on your own page. Go on your page and teach, bro. Go on your page and teach. Go teach. Go on your page and teach. Don't try to teach on top of me. This is your first one. Don't come over here and try to teach on top of me. Go log in and teach. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay? That's a fact. All you got to do is go listen to his speech. He tell you right in the speech. He said, this is your opportunity. He told Iranians, this is your opportunity. You ain't going to get another opportunity like this for a long time. He said it in the speech. Go listen to the speech when he declared war. I don't do make-believe. This is a fact. Go listen to the speech. He linked out to the protesters and told them, I'm helping y'all. Y'all could take the country right now. Go listen to the speech. Go listen. Go listen to the speech. He said, this is your only opportunity. It's the only opportunity you had. He mentioned the Shah, and he mentioned the U.S. hostages from the Shah. Because when the U.S. hostages, that's when this regime took over. So this regime took over during the American hostage situation. And then this regime been mistreating his own people, so they've been protesting, so they unalived 7,000 or 8,000 people. They say 7, but it's probably 8. The Iranian government just unalived 7,000 to 8,000 Iranians that was protesting the government. It's all facts. You go listen. Trump don't feel like they got to take the country because they can't go in there and take it because of the mountains. I already told y'all. Iran is surrounded by mountains, and if your army go in there, they'll never get out. They got millions and millions of foot soldiers. You can't beat them on the foot, by foot. So Trump using airstrikes to weaken the government so that the opposition can take over their country. That's what's going on, period. Anybody tell you anything other than that, they don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to G.W. Moore. He don't know what he's talking about at all. Listen to me and listen to Trump's speech, and you'll see I'm right. He's pleading with the protesters that don't like the government. He's saying, this is your opportunity. He said, you might not get another opportunity for decades. That's what he told them. I'm going to weaken them. This your opportunity to get that government out of there. That's what he told them. Anybody heard Trump's speech? Tell him what he said. Y'all tell him. Tell him what he said. In Iraq, kind of, sort of. Kind of, sort of. The difference in Iraq is they was going to take all that gold and stuff. They was just going to rob Saddam. they went they went in there and robbed Saddam because Saddam had a whole lot of gold. Yeah, he said he wouldn't allow them to get nukes. He blew up all that stuff. But my point is, he only did it now. You're right. He wanted to blow up their nukes. I'm saying why he doing all that now. He's doing all that now because he can blow up the nukes. He can disrupt their government and the people that take over, and he don't got to take no foot soldiers. He don't have to have no foot soldiers go in there. So you say, how they going to do that? He don't need no foot soldiers to drop weapons. All he got to find is do they reconnaissance and find out where the opposition area is at. Then they'll fly over and they'll drop guns to the opposition. They're going to do reconnaissance and say, all these people here hate him. All these people here hate him. It's like, say it's like 750,000 people here to hate him and only 50,000 supporters. So that means if we drop the gun, only 50,000 of them can get him, but the other 750,000 going to get him, and 750,000 with the guns can beat the 50. So what they're going to do, they're going to find out where everybody at, and they're going to get them people guns. They're going to drop guns. They're going to come. They're going to be dropping them crates with them parachutes, land with them guns, and them people going to be taking them guns. They ain't going there with no robots. Because robots can't win in that mountainous area. Them robots will get wiped. Them robots will be all stuck, falling down. They live in the middle of mountains. There's mountains all the way around. It ain't no terrain for robots or people. The only people can fight there is the people that live there. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that live there can fight there, but if you don't live there, you know what I'm saying? They're going to give them guns. I'm giving y'all the game. They're going to give the opposition guns because they know the only reason 7,000 people got unalived because they didn't have the military might to fight the government. They're going to give them guns. I'm telling you, they're going to give them a lot of guns. They're going to blow up the Iranian government's guns. That's what they're doing now. They're going to blow up the Iranian government's gun, and they're going to give the opposition guns. And I'm telling you, Trump is talking right now to their next leader. How much you want to bet? The United States government right now is talking to their new government. The Ayatollah is alive, but they done blew up everywhere he be at. He can't go back where he was at. They blew all that up. They blew all that up yesterday and last night. The only reason he's alive, he wasn't home. If he would have been home, he wouldn't have been alive. Remember, Putin told all the Russians early this week, come home. Now, come. Yeah, the new leader, the checks hit. He probably in Paris or somewhere. He probably in Paris. He ain't there. He fled when they unalived the 7,000. He fled. They talking to him, but let that sink in. They unalive 7,000. He might be dead. I'm gonna wait for verification. He might be unalive. They tried to blow him up, so he might be. He don't know who he playing with. See, here go the thing. They ain't never seen a president like this. Trump is fighting everybody at the same time. He gonna blow them up too, right while this going on. He kind of smart. Trump is gonna blow the Mexicans that's against America to smithereens right while this going on. Because nobody will think he'll do it. Think about this. When they ran up in Venezuela, they took all these military ships out there to that ocean, right? Right? Think about this. He cared, but he getting money. He doing the right thing. He doing the right thing. He doing the right thing, fighting it the right way. They took all those ships, right, down there off the coast of Venezuela, all the military ships. If you go look at the map, they got a whole bunch of different military ships out by Iran. They can't do that overnight. This is planned. We're going to hit them, and them. We're going to hit them all hard. I'm telling you. Think about it. They got all them ships down there. I just watched the news, so I can't lie. They got a bunch of ships over there by Iran. I was like, dang, you know how long it takes to have those ships in position? It takes a while to get all them battleships in position. But what a lot of people don't understand, how does it end? It ends with a new leader in Iran, right? And Venezuela's going back home, picking fruit for the United States. How long, listen, how long I told y'all that? Look, let's talk war. This is Mexico, this is Central America, this is South America, right? Trump takes all his battleship to South America, right? Off of Venezuela. Uses his military to conquer the Venezuelan president and shut the country down, right? Now the Mexican cartels come up here acting a fool, right? The United States is here. If the United States is here and the Mexican cartels is here and the United States military is here, ain't the Mexican cartels surrounded? They already surrounded. Genius is genius. They are surrounded. You up here in Mexico acting a fool, they got their whole military here and here. They done. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me that them cartels acting a fool ain't surrounded. They are surrounded. Hold on. How long I told y'all that? Hold on. Who remember when I was talking about this? Hold on. Hold on. Listen, tell me I'm lying. Who remembers when I told y'all 2 years ago, over a year ago, that, and I showed you Lindsey Graham said they was going to go and get rid of the Sinaloa, they was going to get rid of the cartels. Did I not tell you that? I told y'all that. I said they was going to send drones in there, in them jungles, and wipe them cartels out. It's a whole bunch of drones, right? There's a whole bunch of drones on them ships down there by Venezuela. I told y'all that is finna not be no South and Central America, and ain't gonna be no Canada. It's getting ready to be the Americas. So they like, you know what? We don't need nothing from China. We don't need nothing from none of y'all. If they take this, they don't need to trade with nobody in the world. Everything America needs is from Canada down here. They're going to take Canada too. That's why they talk about what? Greenland. You think he talking about Greenland for nothing? He talking about Greenland because they finna take all this. This is going to be the Americas. You understand? This is going to be the Americas. How long I told y'all that? And tell me they don't got the military off of the coast of Venezuela and military in America, and tell me that South and Central America is not surrounded. South and Central America is surrounded because the military's on the south. And United States, all their military's in the United States. You in the middle, you the monkey in the middle. I told y'all that. I gave too long in depth, and I said that they tricked the Venezuelans to come up here, and I told y'all to look at both sides and look how green this land is. And they said, yeah, y'all come up here and we're going to go take that green land. I told y'all that. And then they're going to send them back home. And I told y'all they're going to take that green land. And what I told you they was going to do, they was going to send them people back home. And when them people get back down there, right, they're going to be working for who? They're going to be working for Sunkiss. They're going to be working for Chiquita Banana. They're going to be working for Blue Diamond. I still got the pictures. I still got the lecture. They have them come up here, and when they send them back, they're going to go back and they're going to be working for the United States. When they come up here, you see this land on both sides? That's the grandmama and auntie, and they're going to be like, the store used to be there. That little building on your left, it ain't going to be there when they get back. Nothing down there now going to be down there when they get back. They're going to take all of that. They're going to cut these trees down, and it's going to be all Sunkist, Chiquita Banana, Blue Diamond, Agave for liquor, grapes, strawberries. Because what? The weather's acting up. And I told y'all this too. I said this. If you're growing, if you need 10 million strawberries, right? So you grow 20 million strawberries. And when you grow 20 million strawberries, you end up with 10. But if you grow 20 million strawberries and you absolutely got to have 10 and you only end up with 5, that means you're going to have to grow 30 million strawberries or 40 million strawberries so you can get your 10. So in order for them to make their quota with the weather messing up, they got to grow 4 or 5 times more stuff than they used to, because Mother Nature going to wipe a lot of it out. So in order to meet their quota, they taking all this. They taking all this. They taking all of this. You young people are living when America, the American government is going to take the whole Americas. The Canadians are finished. It started off with NAFTA. Who know? Who remember? They bring in way more here, experiment, because they're going to have way more trucks. They're going to have highways go from the tip, right? Okay, we'll go watch something else. They're going to have highways go from the tip of South America to North America. And the trucks are going to be automatically drive, so they'll be driving extremely fast. There's one area right here where you see the skinny part, there's a swamp there where nobody could pass. They're going to blow that up and concrete all that. They're going to get rid of that swamp because they ain't got no highway to get from South America to North America. It's going to be automatic trucks going all the way up, back down, up, back down, up, back down. At first, they was just going to do Central America and Canada and stuff. But no, now they're going to do the whole situation. Let's take a break. It's the news. Now I had a brother come over here and say, FBA, we don't listen, FBA is like this. Yeah, you want to be foundational Black Americans. We want to delineate. But delineation, you can't eat delineation. You can't live in delineation. So when a brother be like, we don't want to hear about that, we just want FBA. This is one of the problems with brothers and sisters. I'm FBA, but we got to eat. We got to have housing. Other than that, if you don't produce nothing, if you don't own nothing, you're going to have to give all your reparations back, basically. So if you ain't producing nothing, if you don't have no factories, if you ain't providing and do for self, what good is it to delineate? And you can't even feed yourself. You understand? These is high-level conversations over here. And if you delineate and they can starve you, then what? Because delineation ain't no store. Okay? You can't go to no store and say, well, I'm FBA. I need to eat. All right? So when you get to the point, you're like, well, we FBA, we don't want to be intelligent. We want to learn nothing else. We don't want to learn nothing else. We just FBA. You understand? FBA stands for Foundational Black Americans. It don't stand for Food Buster A-Ho, okay? Because it's a whole bunch of FBAs. Because you could be the fool, the buster, and the A-Ho. You know, you could be the other FBA. We don't want to be that FBA. We don't want to be F Boys Anonymous. We don't want to be the FUCK Boys Anonymous. That's not what FBA stands for. Don't come over here being the wrong FBA, being the F Boy Anonymous, talking stupid. If you don't want to hear what I'm saying, log off. You understand? Because this is what's going on in the world. This is relative to what's going on with these world wars. My point is, America is going to take all this so they don't got a war. They ain't got to worry about no other region. They ain't got to get no food from you. They ain't got to get nothing from you. It'd be totally self-contained. And now you got to get from us. If they grow the whole South and Central America with food, other people got to buy it from us. The Chinese will not be able to get no soybeans from Northern America or Southern America. Because when Trump put the tariffs on with the soybeans in the United States, the China went to South America to get them. You think it's a coincidence that China started going to South America to get soybeans and Trump sent warships to South America to take Venezuela? Y'all ain't looking. And guess what? Right now they in war up there with them Arab people, right? And you say, well, they won with them, they got the oil. They don't got more oil than Venezuela. Venezuela got the most oil on the planet. So with Venezuela and South America, you got the oil, you can grow all the food, you got more room to raise more cattle. So you got all the stuff you can do from America and Canada all the way down. You'll be the richest area in the world. Because it's cold in Russia. They can't grow nothing everywhere there. Y'all don't think that if the United States control all this, that this region will be the richest region in the world? This will be the richest area in the world. Let's not mention how much gold and natural resources is probably in South America. If there was a gold rush in North America, there's surely gold in South America. So with the number one oil resource, with the ability to grow food from the tip of South America all up through to America, they'll be able to grow food all the way from the tip of South America all the way up to Michigan, because they're growing apples and stuff up there. So all this will be food all the way up. Then they got cattle all the way up, and they're going to have cattle up there in Canada, because they ain't no telling what they're growing in Canada. They got a lot of trees and stuff up there too, so they got lumber. They got mad lumber. Come on, man. That's the plan. That's the plan on this side of the world. And they're going to send them drones, right? Cuba don't fit in. They little. Anytime you're little, you're a nobody. Cuba's little, they're nobody. They got to do what they told. He who has the gold makes the rules, and he who got the guns got the gold. They're not going to put no money into Cuba, Jamaica, none of them, because one of the reasons they're expanding, and let me break that down. I'm glad you asked me that. They're not going to put no money into those places because one of the reasons they're expanding is because environmental change. And they know that Cuba, Jamaica, and all of them going to get destroyed by hurricanes. And they know a lot of America going to get hit by hurricanes, tornadoes, rain. So they got to find more land. Like I told y'all earlier, if you're going to lose half your crop, you're going to have to grow 8 times as much. So they know that with the environmental change, they got to find some more land. I told y'all the other day, Florida, no water. Arizona, no water. They're not going to have no water. They're going to be able to grow. We're going to be able to grow less in the United States. You got to understand that a lot of brothers, when I be talking about deep stuff like that, you don't listen. But this is what they talking about in Washington. They got scientists and people come telling them because they in business. And if you're in business growing food, you got to know what the weather doing. Are we going to lose our crops here and there? They say, yeah, with climate change. This is how the big time people, they looking at the climate change and they looking at what's growing where. I'm trying to bring the black man up to that level. Black women, listen, a lot of black men, I don't know what's wrong with them. They looking at climate change and they looking at where climate is changing at, and they looking at what money they going to lose when the climate change. And they say, well, if we're going to lose all this, we ain't going to be able to grow no grapes or nothing if this dry up. Where's wet at? Where are we going to be able to grow it at? That's what they looking at. I'm telling you, I'm giving y'all game. They looking and they say, they looking and they saying, well, it's real green down there. How much rain they getting down there? Oh, they still getting plenty rain. Okay, we got to shift. Like I told y'all yesterday, go watch the brother. Go watch the brother. Let me post him again. Let me find the brother. I told y'all yesterday, go watch the brother. If you don't watch nothing else, you need to watch this brother. I'm telling you. If I could just find, I forgot what the conversation was. What was that conversation? I forgot the conversation. What I named it. Hold on. Maybe I put it under environment. Go watch this brother. What's that? Oh, wait. If you don't watch nothing else. Go watch this brother right here. Follow him on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram. Go follow him on Instagram. The Colorado River is in a severe long-term crisis due to a 20-year drought and climate change, with major reservoirs like Lake Mead and Lake Powell at critically low levels, triggering significant water cutbacks. As of early 2026, states are struggling to reach a consensus on post-2026 uses of water, risking federal intervention. They finna intervene. You're going to have to take 10-minute showers. And you're going to have to wait on certain days to wash your car. You think I'm playing? So they got to find land. They got to find land. They got to find land quick so they can grow the food. That includes Iran. They can do things with Iran. So if they can get them people over to Iran and they be puppets of the United States, they can go over to Iran and make some money. Yes, the Mississippi River, the Colorado River, they are extremely low. Extremely low. Key states facing significant water shortages: New Mexico, California, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, Utah, Texas, Idaho, Montana, Nebraska, and Kansas are running out of water. Go watch. Go subscribe to Alaska Gladiator 400. I'm telling y'all, if you got Instagram, go subscribe to Alaska Gladiator 400. If you own a home, go watch this. If you're in any of those areas, sell your home because it ain't going to be worth nothing next year. Because nobody going to want to move where it ain't no water. You ain't going to be able to sell it. You ain't going to be able to sell it. Nobody ain't going to give you a quarter for it. The Colorado River is in a severe long-term crisis due to a 20-year mega drought, rising temperatures, and over-allocation, with flows dropping to minus 20% over the past century. Major reservoirs like Lake Mead and Lake Powell hit historic lows, threatening water for 40 million people and agriculture, with 2026 negotiations failing to secure new sharing deals. So 7 states is trying to figure out how they're going to share the water. You don't got to listen. But you're going to have to take 10-minute showers. As of February 2026, there are no statewide mandatory legal enforced shower time limits for Florida residents. However, due to severe drought conditions, water managers in South Florida and Tampa Bay are urgently asking residents to voluntarily reduce water usage, including limiting shower times and laundry. They're saying they ain't forcing you yet. So I'm saying all that to get back to what I was saying. They're looking for land everywhere. And that's what's going on over here. They are going to help those people in Iran, and they are going to get their foot into that land. And they're going to get, yep. In a minute, they're going to be telling you have to, exactly. And if the Colorado River dry up, it's a wrap. And the Colorado River is almost low enough You see it. The Colorado River is almost low enough where the dam gonna turn off. And if the dam turn off, ain't nobody gonna have no electricity. It rain all the time in Tampa, but it's not enough water. That water won't be worth nothing. Current restrictions, the lower basin, Arizona, Nevada, and Mexico has faced mandatory shortages, with Arizona bearing significant cuts to its Central Arizona project. Go look it up and read it yourself. Florida ain't got no water. Florida ain't got no water. You don't gotta listen. 2 water management districts have declared phased moderate water shortages for parts of northern central Florida. These advisories ask people to voluntarily reduce water use. The Suwannee River Water Management District declared a shortage for 14 of its 15 counties in January, below average. And what happens is when water runs out in one part, right, they're going to come take the water where y'all at. So any shortage is going to cut y'all water. So no matter how much water they get in Tampa, if the rest of Florida get dry, they're going to be shipping y'all water out. Right? You know what I'm saying? They're going to they're going to drink up y'all water. Trucks going to be rolling out of there with y'all water. Because they're going to have to distribute it. All of this stuff is for natural resources, which include gold, silver. On the side note, silver finna be more expensive than gold. Go get you some silver. Don't say I didn't tell you. Okay? The price of silver is shooting up. So this situation with this war, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's all we can hope for is that the people in Iran get enough help for America and jump in, and that it don't that the Houthis and so many Muslim people don't jump in, because you got two splits with the Muslims. You got these on this side, then you got the Saudis. And these on this side, they consider the Saudis sellouts. See what I'm saying? They hate the Saudis because the Saudis be selling oil and stuff to the Americans and stuff like that. So this situation could get really crazy. Not to mention, is there any terrorists already in America? How many terrorists are already in the country? Especially when Biden was asleep and undone everything Obama did. Obama had got everybody out of here. Biden and them went to sleep and let everybody in here. But I already told you what that was about. They let all them people in here, right? So that they could take that land down there. You know what I'm saying? That's why they let them in here. That's a fact. They let them people come this way so they can go down that way and they take their stuff. Because think about it. When the people came up here, they were saying there was what? Venezuelans, right? Venezuelans, right? And where did America just invade? When the Venezuelans was coming here, they say they all look military. A lot of the men look military age. You telling me they didn't run a game on them by sending the military age ones up here so they ain't got nobody to help them fight, then rush down there and invade their country, and the military age men ain't even down, and you can't put an army together. I'm telling you, man, just think about it. Venezuelans came up here, and all of a sudden we in Venezuela. All of a sudden they attack Venezuela. You got to put the play together. That you who believe that's a coincidence? That ain't no coincidence. That's not a coincidence. Send the Venezuelans up here, go take Venezuela, and then send their ass back home under your rule. So you leave Venezuela and the Venezuelans run it, and then they kick you out and you get back down there and America run it. When you get back down to Venezuela, they're going to be telling them, go home, it's jobs in Venezuela. It's jobs. And when you get back down there, they're going to have some little houses for you right next to the Chiquita Banana. They go with the Venezuelans. I'll tell you, man, these people is something else. When them Venezuelans get back down there, they're going to be like, my grandmother used to live there. And my auntie, she don't live there no more. Chiquita Banana got it. Yeah. Grandma don't live there no more. No. Grandma don't live there. You don't own the land no more. That's Sunkiss. Sunkiss on that. Yeah. Yeah, Sunkiss on that. If you think I'm lying, go look at the almond crop in California, how they lost all them almonds. The almond crop been failing in California. The year before last, Atlanta lost a whole peach crop. 85% of the peaches gone. Why? Because it got warm early. The peaches started blooming. Then it got too cold and killed all the baby peaches. That's it. You go to Walgreens or go to the store, and I can prove I'm right. I used to buy 100% cranberry juice. So I went in the Walgreens to get some 100% cranberry juice. It said 100% juice and fooled me. So I picked it up. When I read it, I was like, oh, this ain't 100% cranberry juice. This 100% juice. They cut the cranberries. You know why? They lost their cranberry crop. Fine. So I bet you can't find no Ocean Spray 100% cranberry juice nowhere. Prove me wrong. Go find some. Go find some. I bet you can't. I bet you can't. The environment shot. And it's a war for land. It's a war for gold, oil, agriculture. I'm telling you. And Iran's in that war. You know how much poppy they grow? You know how many people in them Islamic countries are junkies, heroin addicts? I'm telling you. So look, I hope you learn from this and keep your head on the swivel. I will be here again today, I'm sure. I'm probably going to have to. It ain't none nowhere because the crops is gone. Ain't none nowhere. I ain't lying. And all that fruit and stuff we eating, that's last year. They take that fruit and they put that fruit in a thing and they spray this stuff on it. And that fruit can last a year. When you buy an orange, that's orange for 2 years ago. That's why when you finally get it home, it ripens so quick. Because that food ain't growing like that. There's mass shortages. So when the brother came and said FBA, we with FBA, but when we do get that reparations, we're gonna have to find somewhere to grow our food. On top of that, they got Elon Musk building those factories and it's killing all the food and killing the people. You seen that? Elon Musk building them tech buildings. Them tech buildings use 100 million gallons of water a day. Those tech processing plants use 100 million gallons of water a day, which is the reason there's no water in the wells, the aquifers. That's why the lakes, that's why they really going down. The weather's messing up. And they're using 100 million gallons a day. So once again, for this knowledge, I'm telling y'all on Instagram, you better listen to me. This is one of the most important people for you to follow right now. If you're on Instagram, follow Alaska Gladiator 400. I'm telling you, follow him. All right? And that's the news. And you can't get it no rawer than that nowhere else.